Hey guys, let's talk 5th generation cellular technology. We're going to call it 5th generation cellular technology because we don't want to say that, for the sake of the channel, maybe it'll help. If you're one of those people that's just going to comment and say, oh, it's non-ionizing, this video's not for you. You probably stroke a check from these type of systems being installed, or your family did for many, many years, and your dad taught you that it's non-ionizing. If you think that every version of this is non-ionizing, or it couldn't be in an instant, and we don't need to give anybody the capability of having this technology, then this video is not for you. So, if you want to say this in the comment section, just go on with your bets. All right, moving on. When we talk about this 5th generation cellular technology, we're not just talking about one thing. It's many different. It's a range of applications. So generally, when we're talking about this, we have low band, mid band, and high band. And what I'm worried about, and what everyone else should be worried about and concerned about, is the microwave high band, the 20 gigahertz to 100 gigahertz range. That's what's dangerous. High bandwidth, microwave, 20 gigahertz to 100 gigahertz is what's dangerous. And whatever you do, don't talk about this out loud. 6-0-GHz and human health. Don't ever talk about that in human health. I don't know why, but it drives the algorithms crazy, and you'll have people hawking you down for all types of different reasons. I made that mistake in 2020. All right, so here we go. We are worried about, when we talk about the 5th generation cellular technology, we are not necessarily talking about low and mid, okay? Oh, my phone's already 5th generation. Blah, blah, blah. I know, I got it. Cool, chill out. Typically what you're using is 800 megahertz to 2.4 gigahertz, or even 3.4 gigahertz, depending on your provider or what system you're using, etc. The problem is this, and the reason is, when you get into this territory, you've got something called harmonic sympathy that you need to understand. Is microwave radiation absorbed by polar molecules. Microwave radiation absorbed by polar molecules. This right here affects everything that is polar. One of the most important polar molecules for all living things is water. Last time I checked, we were pretty much water blobs. We're almost completely water, right? So this affects us drastically. Why? Because water is very permeable. It's extremely permeable to radiation. Think of water like a sponge. And not only can you put beauty and creativity into water using in relation to cymatics, and you can structure water, magnetize it. You can make living water. People are all about water these days, and they're really learning it, and I think it's awesome. But please understand, it works in the reverse as well. Water is very susceptible. It's like a sponge to radiation. So we know, proven time and time again, go do it for yourself. It's pretty easy. Microwaved water kills life. Microwave your water and water one plant, and then have one structured or distilled and water the other one. Watch what happens. Microwaved water kills life, okay? It's an incorrect harmonic communication system, and it actually is counterproductive. It does the opposite of create life, it kills. And it's no different in humans, guys. It's no different. Do it with your plants, it's doing the same thing to you. So when you radiate your food is full of water, you're doing the same exact thing as if you're microwaving water and giving it to a plant. You're a plant, okay? You're a plant. So think of yourself as a plant. Stop doing that. Stop radiating your food. Take your microwave, pull it out of your home, and set it out front by the trash can and send it to the dump, okay? That's where it needs to go. We're talking cancer, cellular stress, free radicals, genetic damages, reproductive system issues, neurological disorders, flu-like symptoms, and oxygen deprivation. Endless. One of the most important ones, I think, to think about is flu-like symptoms. Why? Why is that important? In 2020, I tried to tell everybody about this, and only a handful of people around the world really agreed and believed this, but they knew it, and we still know it. And that's, when you think of radar and radio, the time in which it came out, and if you understand Faraday and how Faraday cages work, where there was a Faraday cage, there was not flu-like symptoms. Where there was not a Faraday cage, there was flu-like symptoms and respiratory issues. So please understand, we know what happens when you change EMF fields or directed EMF fields drastically. We know what happens to human health just from Faraday. For example, it's very simple to understand. Flu-like symptoms. So back in March of 2020, when I tried to tell everybody that looked at me like I had 5 heads that the COVID-19 scenario was the perfect scapegoat for the 5th generation cellular technology rollout. I still believe that to this day. And generally, anytime there's ever been a new generation network rolled out somewhere, there's usually some sort of pandemic of some sort. Yeah, sure, they may throw out a bacterial, some type of bacteria or bioweapon in the area to kind of mask what's really going on. They definitely are intelligent enough to do that stuff, and it's been proven, they've been caught doing it before, and they're still doing it today. But just know, think Spanish flu and radar and radio. Spanish flu, you got to understand the times. You got to really look into this stuff. Every time they change the EMF, you're going to have cellular toxicity. All right? Germ theory versus terrain theory. Look into it, study it, really think about it. Understand how important changes in EMF are, and understand how important it is because of this EMF freaking warfare. You got to be grounded. My concrete's grounded. I can stand on it and I'm grounded instantly. As soon as I get off this rug, I'll be grounded barefoot. It's very important to understand that it's everywhere. So what we're going to do now that we know that it's bad for you, and before we go, light, radio wave, gamma, it's all the same thing. They're just different frequency and wavelength. And when you think of wavelength, think of capacitance. Capacitance, like a power line, squished capacitance, higher capacitance. So all light is the same as a radio wave, is the same as gamma. It's all the same thing, just a different frequency and wavelength. You got to put this into your head. Why would we want, what I'm going to warn you about, why would we want this so bad? Why do we want this so bad that we would risk our health? Not to mention, on the other side of this board, I'm going to tell you just how dangerous and how weaponizable this is and why, even though all of you guys should know. We want this so Joe Schmo, hotshot, can download a 4K movie in 8 seconds at the airport. That's why we want this. We're going to risk nature, human health, humanity, and put the most infinitely dangerous weapon in all of our recent human history in the hands of people we didn't elect that have immunity. We don't want in the position of power to control it that have complete immunity from being held responsible. I don't think so. This, a 4K movie in 8 seconds, it's not worth it, I assure you. Let's get on to what's really going on, how it works, and why it's dangerous. I'm trying to keep it simple for this side because you can get very specific here, and it's kind of out of my pay grade. Actually, it's way above my pay grade, but all I want to do is truly understand the basics, and I like to do little experiments myself in the real world when I'm done, and then I'm like, holy crap, this is how it works, and that's how I roll. But I don't go deep into specifics and blah, blah, blah. I don't have to prove anything to you guys, okay? I'm just sharing my knowledge with you of where I took myself in this arena. This technology has been in iPhones and Androids since their inceptions. I know it's hard to think, but the original iPhones and Androids were unbelievably ready for this technology, and it's been utilized ever since the inception of them. So please understand how advanced our cell phones really are. And that was the originals. Think about what's there now. Beamforming. Look up 5th generation beamforming technology, but try to find the opposite of what's being spoon-fed to you at the tops of search engines, etc. They'll be honest with you, but they're only going to tell you the good side of it. That 4K movie in 8 seconds makes techies and communications people drool. Of course, government's drool. Of course, it's for our safety. No, let me tell you what you're sacrificing via surveillance and literal weaponizable directionality for your speed, for your download speed. All right, here we go. So, what we have when we're going to have these 5G millimeter waves going everywhere is understand that that's not going to go through a block wall or a brick wall very well. It's not going to go through the forest very well. It's going to be messed up. We've got a lot of harmonic interference going on. So what they have to have is freaking antennas everywhere. They've got to have antennas everywhere. That's why we're going to have all these street lights, all these 5th generation, I almost said it. 5th generation street lights have to be installed way before the freaking development is finished. I'm like, what's up with these dang massive, insanely, gaudy street lights before the roads are even finished? Because they're the most important part of the next piece of what's going on. They can be updated, software updated, and this is the technology they're going to use. They're antennas for this system. Please understand, these street lights, everything is going to be an antenna for the system, and that's why they want your house to be a smart home. Okay, they want everything to be smart. They want everything to be able to ping, because they're going to utilize it for this whole system. Directional antennas used in high bandwidth via tower and antenna location is literally the ultimate weapon. So instead of, think like you think of sonar, ping, 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 and they've always been able to get your location. It's going out this omnidirectional signaling, which works like sonar, as you would think. I don't know how most people think of it, but yeah, they've been able to get your location. It's going out in all different directions, but now they have strategically placed antennas everywhere to where they can triangulate and increase the capacitance, frequency and wavelength. They can change. Oh, that's on the other side of the board. So basically, they've triangulated this location down to the foot. And I think in 2020, when they were like, oh, everyone's got to stand 6 feet apart, I think they were just utilizing this technology, and they were training their technology or testing. It was trials. Stand 6 feet apart. They were trying to pinpoint and see how well it works, okay? That's what that was all about, that 6 feet apart crap. Don't even try to change my mind on it. So understand how dangerous it is when I tell you the effects on human health from this. And mind you, we have videos and proof of all the military weapons that are 5th generation technology, microwave technology, to where if you walk in front of this, weapon that they have, they literally microwave you, and they make you so hot and sting and tingly because they're heating you like you're in a microwave. It's just a microwave without the encasement. It's a directional microwave, and you're in it, and they've had that for a long time. It's nothing new. It's been around for a long time. All right, so please know that it already is a weapon. It's just not being used as that. The capability is all out there, and all of this stuff that's being installed will have that capability at the turn of a dime, okay? I don't know what happened in 2020 to where the rollout got shut down. I've heard some things. I've spoke to some very interesting people on it, and I have my ideas, and I really hope what I heard happened really happened, but I don't really know, What happened to love bugs in Florida? We've had love bugs crazy for so many years, so bad, people just dread love bug season. In 2020, there was no love bug season. And in 2021, there was still almost no love bug season. And we barely started seeing them in 2022. And now they're just starting to come back. So I'm trying to figure out, I pay attention to EMF. I pay attention to bees, nature, everything. I'm very in tune with this stuff, the change in EMF fields. I'm always grounding. So I know, and I've got too much static charge, I'm being messed up. But please understand that this is infinitely more dangerous and more capable of a weapon than nuclear bombs are, okay? They can literally microwave an area and take care of it like that. When I say microwave, they choose. Imagine a dial. They choose how bad they want it to be. They can choose a location, flu-like symptoms. These stadiums, that Raymond James Stadium, it's a 5th generation hub. My buddies installed the antennas all underneath of it. It's a freaking hub. It's an upside down speaker, and all underneath of it is just a crap ton of antennas. Could you imagine what the capabilities are in these stadiums? These are 5th generation cellular technology hubs. That's why some crazy stuff has been happening in them, I bet. I don't want to get into too deep into that, but they even portray that in some movies. And most people don't even realize it because they don't know what I know about this. When I watch a movie and I see something happening, a portal show up in the middle of a football match, and I'm like, oh, okay, right in this new tech. Oh, interesting. And I see this 5th generation advertisement on the screen in the movie. You got to think about these things. But it's very important to know that it can really affect human health. They're going to be able to make a specific location sick. They're going to be able to make a specific location not be able to breathe. They're going to be able to make a specific location in fear, angry, confused, have lethargy. What? Project Bizarre. Think of it like MK Ultra, the CIA in the 1970s. This has probably been around since before then. If the CIA was doing it in the 1970s, they learned it from somewhere too. So please understand, it's an unclassified but heavily redacted document. So yes, it's unclassified, heavily redacted, I'm sure. But they prove that in that document, you can look it up. I found it. I think I have it saved still. It's kind of buried in Suppress, but I can't remember where I found it. Anyways, Project Bazaar, you'll find it. You guys are talented. They can actually induce your emotional states via bandwidth and frequency manipulation. So they can literally induce fear or anger or confusion or lethargy. And this is portrayed in movies, guys, all the time, but it's true. It's actually out there. So we have a specific type of cellular technology that I would rather be out there that creates a ton of harmonic interference for this fifth generation beamforming technology. I want that to stay because it's such harmonic interference that this wouldn't work as well. But what they're doing is they're installing that everywhere, and that's what they want. It's for total surveillance and total control. Their surveillance state would be so extreme under this. Their possibilities would be endless. They could ping to anything. Every device we purchase or buy, like they're going to infiltrate every market. So your washer and dryer is going to have an antenna, and you don't even know it. It's not even going to show it. There's like, oh, I got a plain washer and dryer. No, there's an antenna in there or on the back that you don't even know about that they're pinging to. The surveillance is going to be unbelievable. And your phone is the best tracking device there is, and we just openly have it at all times. So think about Faraday cages. Think about getting a Faraday cage for your phones or specific items for specific locations, maybe bug out locations for your family if you have those, or if you're into prep and stuff like that. I'm not big into that. I'm big into learning and just educating and grounding. The more I'm grounded, the less I'm affected by the EMF. And I now know because of this just how important it's going to have to be grounded at all times. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to grounding, earthing, watch my earthing videos, watch my grounding videos. We're getting crazy benefits. My dogs, my grandmother, my parents, my wife, myself. I didn't think it would work like it did, but these EMF fields and this directionality, this beam forming, triangulated, just increased capacitance directionality, the possibilities are endless when it's in the wrong hands. And I haven't seen this type of technology in the right hands in a long time, maybe ever. So that's my rant for the day. Just remember, this isn't one thing. We're not talking about this and this being the most dangerous. It's not, okay? We've got plenty of harmonic interference in here keeping you safe. But when it comes to this, if this is fully rolled out and implemented, and that's what we use, and that's what we all want and sign up for and contract to, we go to the store, yeah, I want to download that 4K movie in 8 seconds. Of course I want that. Yeah, terms and service, I agree. I don't care about any of that. I just want it. That's consent. That's contract. That's you giving them consent to install it or give it to you or whatever. And so this is what we're worried about. When we talk about fifth generation, remember, 20 to 100 gigahertz, that stuff's dangerous. We can't play around with that. So, yep, that's my rant. Let me know what you think. Peace.